Umbrellas the next few days. We've got rain around this morning and heavier rain tomorrow before it wraps up as wintry weather by Friday. We'll let you know how much to expect.
City of St. Charles voters will line up this morning to cast their ballots. I'll tell you about each of the three candidates, one of which will be the city's next mayor.
Convicted murderer Leonard Taylor is scheduled to be executed in Missouri tonight. I will remind you about the 4 victims in the case and tell you what Governor Mike Parson has to say about it.
Controversial bill that could impact your child in the classroom. How Missouri lawmakers plan to debate one of the strictest bills in the country regarding sexual education.
This morning, day 2 of search and rescue efforts after a massive earthquake rocks Turkey and Syria. How refugees in St. Louis are coping with the news and helping their families.
He's done as much as he can with the cards that he's been dealt.
Time to face the music. The 3 topics we expect to hear from the president as he addresses the nation tonight.
Falling in love, St. Louis style. The Valentine's Day specials you can get starting tonight.
This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
Oh, good morning, St. Louis. This is a live look over St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Looks a little foggy out there. The skies are cloudy right now, and you might want to go ahead and grab that umbrella and maybe a light jacket because rain is indeed on its way. Good morning. It is Tuesday, February the 7th. I'm Randy Knott.
And I'm Cindy Stallworth, filling in for Michelle Lee this morning. I want to thank you for joining us, especially those watching on 5+ right now. Now the rain is going to move in. That's going to affect the roads and, of course, the skies. Anthony, what can we expect this morning?
So within the next hour, we should start to see rain here in St. Louis, and it's going to be a quick hit. I mean, by 8, 9 o'clock, it's out of here, and the rest of the day is dry. So it's just a little small window that you have to worry about if you are headed out between now and I'd say 8 o'clock. So right now, the rain is to our south and west. There is a cold front that's swinging through as well, and this front has already pushed through. It dropped our temperature from 58 the last hour, now down to 51 degrees. So the cooler air is starting to rush on in, and the rain showers, those are still out to our west and to our south. These will pull in here within the next hour, and after about 8 o'clock, you can see how the rain pushes away. It also shifts to our south, so that's where the rain will set up for the rest of the day. Cloudy skies will linger here in the metro area. Still chilly today, numbers only in the upper 40s and low 50s. We'll talk about more rain for tomorrow and Thursday coming up. Let's get an update on the roads this morning. Head over to Gary Frank. He's tracking traffic. It seems like it's been fairly quiet. Anything happening?
Not too much, but we're trying to find evidence of that rain and seeing if it actually is not only falling to the surface, but impacting the roads. And right now, this camera, I know it's one of these great HD cameras, but I've been looking at it, and I think over the last 15 minutes, you'll start to see maybe a few sprinkles, so that could impact the roads. That's the first sign of any camera that maybe is being impacted by some light rain. Otherwise, there's not much going on. The only green we have is meaning that it's moving very smoothly, even at 55 north, where it might be lightly raining, as according to the radar. But for the west, Weldon Spring coming into Chesterfield Valley, quiet as you cross the river. We'll update you on how that rain impacts us the rest of the morning coming up.
All right, Gary, the time right now is 6:02, and moments ago, polls in St. Charles City opened up to voters. The mayoral primary election is now underway.
That's right, and our Elise Schoenig joins us live from the Family Arena in St. Charles. She's been there all morning. Elise, have you seen any voters coming in to cast their ballots yet?
Yeah, good morning to both of you. We actually are starting to see people checking in voters as we speak. I'll go ahead and give you a look at the setup over here. We are inside of the Family Arena. This is just one of 4 places voters can come to this morning. Now, this primary will determine which 2 candidates will be on the ballot for the general election that's coming in April. The candidates are current Mayor Dan Borgmeyer, Venetia Powell, and Tom Besselman. Now, this election comes at what a lot of people would really consider a crucial time for St. Charles voters. The city's Elm Point well field, which is its primary source of drinking water, is contaminated, and the city and the EPA have been testing the well to determine who contaminated it. Now, you can vote at more places than just the one that I'm at right now. You can also vote this morning and the rest of the day at the St. Charles Fire Department Station number 4, St. Charles West High School, here, of course, at the Family Arena, and the St. Charles County Election Authority. Now, coming up in our next half hour, I'll tell you about all of the forms of voter ID, of a photo ID rather, you can bring this morning and the rest of the day in order to vote. We are reporting live here in St. Charles. Elise Schoening, 5 on your side.
Thank you, Elise. In just a couple of hours, the St. Louis City Board of Aldermen will meet to discuss how to use $74 million of funding to help provide safer streets. Now, this will be the second reading of this bill. The current proposal will allow most of the funding to alleviate speeding and dangerous driving. Alderman Bosley plans to use some of the money for youth curfew centers to help train kids with career skills. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, will be at the meeting this morning.
Happening today, the state of Missouri is scheduled to execute death row inmate Leonard Taylor. He is scheduled to die by lethal injection for the 2004 murders of Jenny's mother and her 3 young children. Our Alex Fees is live for us this morning in Clayton with the very latest developments in this case. Alex?
Rennie, good morning. St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell issued a statement about this case yesterday saying after thorough review and independent investigation, we decided we would not be filing a motion to vacate the conviction and sentence in Taylor's case. Governor Mike Parson announced the state would proceed with Taylor's execution scheduled for 6 o'clock tonight. Now, Leonard Taylor was convicted of killing his girlfriend, Angela Rowe, and her 3 young children, 10-year-old Alexis, 6-year-old Acrea, and 5-year-old Tyrese Conley in Jennings back in 2004. Authorities at the time said they believe Taylor shot Rowe during a violent argument, then killed the children because they were witnesses to that crime. In a statement, Governor Parson said in part, "The evidence shows Taylor committed these atrocities and a jury found him guilty. Courts have consistently upheld Taylor's convictions and sentences. Taylor has always maintained his innocence, but former St. Louis County Prosecutor Bob McCullough, whose office prosecuted the 2004 case, says Taylor's claims of innocence are, quote, nonsense, and the evidence against him was overwhelming." Now, advocates opposed to the death penalty continue to push for a stay of execution in Taylor's case. If it proceeds this evening, Taylor will be the 3rd person to be executed in the state of Missouri over the course of the past 3 months. Live this morning in Clayton, Alex Fees, 5 on your side.
Alex, today in Jefferson City, the Missouri Senate Committee will hold a hearing on what's being described as the most extreme Don't Say Gay bill in the United States. The proposal says teachers, school nurses, and principals cannot discuss gender identity or sexual orientation at all unless there's a licensed mental health care provider with the parent's prior permission.
Rather than just banning classroom or curricular instruction on gender identity and sexual orientation, it actually bans almost any school personnel from even acknowledging sexual orientation and gender identity, and would amount to an erasure of an entire group of people from any sort of classroom or school discussion.
Current Missouri law already allows parents to opt out of any sex education classes that they are not comfortable with.
All right, let's talk about this rain in your Weather First forecast. This morning, we're keeping an eye on the radar. Showers are just to our west, and the futurecast shows that they will move through between now and 8 o'clock. After that, they push off towards the east and the south. And notice how we're dry for the rest of the day here in St. Louis, but the rain will shift to our south through the daytime hours, and that's where it will stay overnight. Farmington, Rolla, Perryville, Sparta, overnight rain could be pretty heavy at times, and then it will lift north through the day tomorrow afternoon and evening, and that's when we'll have our next round of heavy rain in the metro. So umbrella is a good idea for the next few days. Those showers wrap up on Thursday, and then our attention turns to some wintry weather to end the week. We'll talk about that and a look at the weekend coming up.